Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trackside Live with the gang, us guys. Hang on, my screen's a little iffy. Give us 2 seconds. Actually, I've got to unmute you guys because I haven't unmuted you. There we go.
Oh,
How are
we need to figure out a way to mute you.
Oh, shush.
Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. Now let me just have a look at the numbers quickly. So we've got 19 people on here at the moment. Now, obviously, Ali and I, not being American, we weren't aware about it being Memorial Day weekend, and obviously kept forgetting it. So we want to put the questions out to you guys. Do you want us to do what we planned for today's episode topic, or do we want to make today a community choice? Since we're not going to have everyone here.
We also want to mention that old buddy Claude, he's actually away this weekend. He's up at a cabin in a lake fishing, so that's why he's not here. We did talk to him briefly this morning, so, but he's doing his thing too.
Let me just pop this chat out because. Also, we've got the lovely Ali here as well. If you guys can't see her,
hi.
She's sunburned still.
Sunburn's an understatement.
Yeah, you guys have seen the photos.
Oh yeah, that's a bad.
I don't need to see the photos because I know what happens.
Welcome to Australia.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so I'm just trying to look at the chat. Marty, no. Okay, guys, enough with the hair. Otherwise, I'll start shaving other parts of my body that are hairy.
Oh, please don't make him do that.
I will do it. I have no shame. You've been warned. Okay, so we've got one person who's happy to do community choice. Everyone else is just saying good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
G'day, g'day. And how you going?
Oh, no. Jeez.
At least your headpiece matches your shirt.
Yeah, well, it's a wife's shirt, but it's whatever fits her fits me.
You like my shirt?
Yep. So trackside, 10 a.m. store day.
Store day.
Okay, so did everyone do the topic that that has been picked by you guys this morning, or do we want to save this for next week and change today to a community choice? Got 2 for community choice. Too hard to give individual highs on mobile. Yeah, that's very true, Jason. We've got Grandpa Rails, we've got John from Schuylkill River Valley saying hello, Steve Anderson.
Well, whilst they're deciding, Shannon, why don't you update us on the travelling boxcar?
Okay, I'll do that.
That gives me time.
What about your traveling boxcars? All 130 of them.
I'll give you travelling boxcar.
I don't know how to take that. That all sounds dirty.
That's why I said it.
Okay, so whilst we wait for you guys to talk amongst yourselves and decide, which from what I can see, a couple of people saying community choice. Let's have a bit of an update on the travelling boxcar. So
it's owned.
Okay, there we go. So we'll start off with the N scale one. Now I did get emails earlier this afternoon my time, which would have been last night for you guys. So Friday night, they both arrived. Now the N scale boxcar is currently in Mesa, Arizona, which I'm just gonna move this. Just trying to think.
The American guys will know where that is.
Yeah, no, it's not that. N scale. So that's with Eric Hall. So Eric Hall has currently got the N-Scale box car. And so it was with
Oh, it did a loop.
I think it was Bob from I can't remember. I know it's some sort of tree company thing. Sorry, Bob. I'm bad like that. But yeah, so now it's with Eric Hall. And the HO box car was with Grandpa Rails, and now it is also in Mesa, Arizona, with Marty M, if I'm not mistaken.
Boom, Marty.
So that's the update on the traveling box car. And now I'm just going to exit all this. I'm going to minimize that because we don't need to see that. Uh-oh. Exit full screen. There we go. And stop screen share. So that's the update on the traveling box car. Now, what have the guys decided? We got 1, 2, 3. A couple of people asking for community choice today. So, you guys happy with that? Is everyone else happy with that?
I'm cool.
Who's not okay with it?
This is when I need a GIF with a cricket just going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that's really good.
That's
really good cricket.
very good.
Got to get my cat noise in. It's good to see the likes going up this morning. Well done, guys, but we can keep going. Smash that like button.
I have a weird feeling that my chat's just stopped.
No, the last comment I've got was from Container Man having a go at your memory and hair.
Bad memory and bad hair.
$22 watching, 10 like. Come on, we can do better than that.
Roy says to stomp your cricket, Shannon.
Okay, I guess no one's really denying it. So what I'll do, I'll just edit the description right now, and we'll just do today's as a community choice, since it is the Memorial Day weekend.
Poor cricket.
Yeah.
You're so mean, Roy.
So I'll do that.
Well, it could be a gecko. They make those noises too.
Oh, it's people waking up. Okay. That's good, Steve.
So I'll update that. Okay, community choice. So we'll change the gears up then a little bit. Sparky, I'll let you use your discretion. Okay. Otherwise, if you got Nancy's number, give Nancy a call. I'm pretty sure she'll be happy to give Roy a good clip around the back of the ear.
Yeah, she always keeps him in line. So
when my son misbehaved, we just grabbed his ear, told him.
So I'm confused. Everyone's saying it's Labor Day, not Memorial Day.
Steve,
what?
Are you telling us fibs?
Yeah. Hell, I don't know.
You leading us astray?
Australian?
We're only going by the information we are given, and we are looking at the culprit.
Hey, what do I know?
Everyone stare at the culprit.
Point and laugh.
I'll put me on a timeout.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Better not do that. You might accidentally kick yourself off.
Oh, I would ban myself.
All right. So we'll do a community choice.
It's Labor Day. What the hell am I thinking?
Okay. So being a community choice, we'll change the gears up a bit. We'll put it to you guys. So for those of you who aren't aware how we do community choice here, basically whatever you say in chat that you want us to discuss or whatever, as soon as we see it, we'll discuss it to the best of our ability for God knows how long, and then we move on. And Steve Anderson is asking how the keychain's going.
The keychains, I still got them. We need people to buy them.
We've also got lots of shirts, which hopefully Claude has corrected the spelling on now.
You can't get them like this. You can't get them like this anymore.
Unique shirts.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, for anyone who's wondering, this is what the coloured shirts look like, by the way.
Same colour as my pillow.
Marty wants to know the best choice of N scale track.
Okay, there we go. That'll be the first one. Oh, Sparky's onto it this morning. Okay, Marty. Best choice. Okay, Marty. A little bit more detail. Are you doing like snap track or set track or flex track kind of deal? Like, what kind of track are you wanting to know? Because if you're doing snap track, probably best thing to do would be to, in my opinion, would be to use the uni track system by Kato. I've always heard good things about it. Some people aren't quite happy with it, but it's all to personal opinion. But otherwise, most of the things I have heard was always good. If you're using set track and flex track, Pico is very good for turnouts and whatnot, or you can take a different route to what Steve's doing and build your own turnouts as long as you have the quantity there. I know here in Australia we use a lot of the Atlas Code 55 turnouts, not the cheapo Atlas stuff, the higher quality stuff. And in regards to flex track, I've always used Pico flex track. I know a lot of people use micro engineering as well, or again Code 55 Atlas. That'd be my recommendation in regards to the best track.
I'd agree.
Sorry?
I'd agree.
Yep.
Just not Atlas.
Actually, in saying that, if you do decide to go down the Pico product, if you do look at their Code 55 stuff, their Code 55 is actually compatible with the Code 80 in Pico as well. You might have to, file it down or sand it a little bit just to make the top of the rails meet. But basically, with Pico, what they've done is Code 55 track for them is basically it's still the same Code 80 track, but they just embed it into the plastic tires further, so it's actually more rigid in the actual tires. So it's actually a lot, it doesn't have that same, what's the word I'm after? It's not like, standard flex track where basically you grab the rail and you can rip it off the tires quite easily. Like with these ones, because they're embedded even deeper.
More rigid.
Yeah, they're a lot more rigid. They're a lot more robust, I think is the word I'm after. So you can be a little bit more rough with them. And, if you want to try and take the rail out, it's basically you grab the biggest pair of pliers you got, use both hands and just rip it up with everything.
Well, my question, when you scale down the rail size, and that's always wondered, because I do Code 83, do you sacrifice reliability? I mean, with N scale, when it gets smaller, are you going to get more derailments with the smaller rail opposed to the bigger rail?
You can. It's yes and no. It's all because the reason a lot of people are doing Code 55 now is because obviously it's more realistic to the prototype in that scale. But in regards to, Code 80 versus Code 55, it's all the same stuff. Like, you got to make sure your track bed is done properly. You got to make sure everything's laid out properly, laid out straight. There's no kinks or curves or dips in the track. Like Code 55 also will be a lot more noticeable because the track height is the track profile is lower, but otherwise, that'll comes back down to track lane.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So Dave Venus, Pico leaning towards Pico. Kato has such a wide variety of trackers. Container Man will be listening. Of course, he's driving. Train Freak, Jason. I don't know about NSCAR, but if you use Pico turnouts with a tortoise switch machine. Yes, that is correct, Jason. You do make a good point there. If you do decide to go down to Pico using Pico turnouts, take a little spring, because actually, do I have one here? Yeah, so if you look at Pico turnouts, they actually got a little spring that actually snaps the turnout left to keep it either on the straightaway or on the turnoff, which is really nifty when you first start off building layout because you don't have to set up switches and turnout machines or solenoids and whatnot. You can just literally flick it with your finger. But yeah, if you do go down the using tortoise motors, whatever, take that spring out so that way it's able to move nice and freely, nice and slowly. Otherwise, we just constantly get the flick, 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 flick. So,
unless you're using the snap machines like Pico's PL10s.
Yeah, solenoids. Yeah.
Solenoids.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game there.
Yeah, that is the advantage of FlexTrack is you can do your own radiuses, your own shapes. But don't go too tight because then you're going to have problems with rolling stock going around corners and stuff.
Oh, this is I reckon everyone can join in this next one. What is your opinion on Broadway limited imports?
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, I've got my opinions on them.
So do I.
Yeah, Steve, are you familiar with BLI?
Do what?
Broadway limited imports. Are you familiar with them?
Little bit. I mean, the HO, but they're old school.
They're not just HO, they're N-scale as well.
Oh, I know, but I'm not familiar with the N-scale.
Oh, okay, so you're familiar with the old school HO stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Back when they had QSI, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, who wants to start this one off then?
I can start.
All right, go ahead. Let's see if your opinion differs from mine, and I'll keep an eye on the chat, see if anyone's opinion differs from yours as well.
Well, my first experience with BLI was when they first came out with the HO BHP Limited AC6000s. And the first one I bought was one of their stealth ones, non-sound. And the first sound loco I ever bought was a QSI-equipped AC6000, 6070, in, of course, the BHP blue. This is before they even came out with the bubble scheme. And again, that was when they were still using QSI as well. And that was where I learned a lot about QSI decoders because, especially when it comes to a factory reset, you don't just do the CV8 to the value of 8. You've actually got to go through and reset 2 other CVs while you're at it. So I read that QSI manual back to front, and I learned a lot about QSI decoders through that. And I got a lot of experience of learning DCC and sound and different DCC systems. This was back when I was working in the hobby shop. But my disappointment with them is the BHP AC6000s are just a basic American repaint. They're not prototypical for the Australian AC6000. They don't have the teardrop windows. They don't have the proper self-steering trucks. They've got the American self-steering trucks, but they don't have the Australian self-steering trucks. And other little details like that. They don't have the marker lights. And their bubble scheme, the orange, I don't know, wasn't quite right in my opinion. So But I did like the look of them in the blue. So
Okay, now my opinion with them is with N scale stuff. Now, the first time I experienced BLI wasn't due to my own first-hand experience. It was actually through a friend who he had the centipedes, the first run of the centipedes, and I believe he also managed to get his hands on a second run of centipedes as well. DCC wise, he said garbage. DCC was absolute garbage. Couldn't run properly. Used to stall constantly and whatnot. So being the engineering kind of model railroader he is, he stripped them apart, ripped out the Dakota, converted them all to DC. Hasn't had an issue since. So apart from that, then my first-hand experience with them was with the first release of their E7 units. I managed to get some out of a collection that I bought many years ago. Which ran, to give you an idea how old these units were, they ran the ESU version 3.5 Dakotas, 21 pin. So very, very old. And the problem with those was the wiring that they used, with the board that they used, just too close together, too much heat. All the wiring ended up melting together and shorting itself out. Luckily, you know, some of us who are quite cluey in regards to the electrical side of things can fix them quite easily. I managed
the average modeler.
Yeah, so I managed to get them running quite well and end up selling them again. But yeah, like when they're working, yeah, they're great. They're good little runners in my opinion. They're well weighted. But in regards to the earlier designs, yeah, BLI had a lot of issues, obviously. Some of the later stuff I'm not so familiar with personally, firsthand. I'm still looking through reviews to kind of make an educated opinion on their performance or whatnot, but that's my opinion on the older stuff. So we're talking stuff released, say, around 2010, 2012 kind of era, around that kind of time period.
I was speaking earlier than that.
Yeah.
I was speaking 2007.
Sparky has a couple of opinions too. First of all, Allison, he wants to see you. His weekend's not going to be complete unless you turn on your camera.
Sorry, Sparky, not going to happen.
Oh, come on, Allison.
Yo, I'm not camera ready today.
Nah, that's okay.
And what else has Sparky got to say about BLI?
I was trying to find that. Oh, he says BLI is best for steam locos, and I do like the diesels that have smoke units in them, but they're very finicky on track. They completely stop when they hit a dirty spot.
You see, the problem with anything that has a smoke unit is they're always oily. So they leave oil on your track. So you've got to be constantly cleaning that track. Otherwise, you are going to get all those dead spots.
Yeah, so anyway,
There's
apart from that, I guess
that's a lot of love in there for BLI.
Yeah, so yeah. Look, I have no problem with BLI if they, as I said, if I can look up enough reviews to make up a good educated guess, then I can give you a more overall opinion on the product. But the few things that I have heard, because of what I model and the people I speak to, who they're on a budget, they're obviously trying to find good, reliable running locos for a good price, and yeah, in regards to DCC, if you do go like BLI with the diesel stuff, and my mate will agree with me, is if you want to run on DCC, rip out the factory stuff, double check all the pickups, upgrade them if you can upgrade them in some form of way, put some sort of keep alive in it, and put a different decoder in it that is more reliable and doesn't have as many issues. And yeah, so like if anyone knows me, I'm the kind of one that I like to fiddle a lot and modify a lot. Like I think we're going slightly off topic with BLI, but just to give you an idea. Let me just make my screen bigger. This is what I'm doing right now. So this is one of the U50s I'm working on.
Who's that one from?
This is a Concord unit.
Okay.
But LEDs installed in the shell. Plugs in. I've got that completely wired up for plug and play. So you got a speaker, which I've milled out the chassis. I've got all the wiring set in there, resistors, an 8-pin plug, speaker wires, and right there is plenty of room for an ESU lockdown micro.
See, the problem is you've got people like you who can do that, but there's a lot of modelers out there that aren't up to that level who can sit there and mill out a loco. They want something that they can.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Kind of money, it'll run.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, for those who are capable, you know, like obviously everyone will be capable once they get enough skill. But in regards to, you know, the units that I have an opinion on in regards to BLI, that's the kind of stuff you'd start getting into if you want something running reliably. You know, you'll start modifying and doing your own thing and going, okay, that's how I want it set up. I know it's going to run better. So, but otherwise, just trying to catch up through the chat because the chat's just moving a little bit too quick for me at the moment. So Sparky said BLI Steam's good, which I've heard some good reviews about the BLI Mikado. I haven't heard any issues with them yet. Not to say that it won't happen, but they're still, in my opinion, still fairly new to the market. But we'll see what happens. Train Freak, Jason, his SW1500 with sound. Dies a lot on frogs and number 6 turnouts. This is interesting. He asked about installing a current keeper or a keeper live in it and was told that it will void his warranty that BLI does not recommend it. That's, in my opinion, that's stupid. You know, you do not release a DCC sound loco without the ability to install a current keeper or keeper live in it. You know, however you want to call it. Highballer Hogger says has two, I think it wants to say diesels. It's great but not impressed with performance. So great detail but not impressed with performance. Steve Anderson says he just finds it strange that BLI has a large selection of refurbished items. Which I've got to have a look at that. Then we're going about Ali turning her camera on. Uncle Wilma saying hello, good morning. So good morning, Wilma.
Not bad.
John2618 says the newer BLI locos are coming with plug on the board for their keeper lives. So I think BLI is starting to listen to their customers. Shape Boy, yeah, DCC. I'm trying to find a replacement one for my steam engine. So Shape Boy, do you have the actual Mikado? I loved all my MTH locomotives. Sparky says all his steamers are BLI. Sparky, when did Rapido make a big boy? Are you sure you're not talking about River Racing, Sparky? Actually, Ali, you'd know. Aren't River Racing and Rapido kind of like cousins in regards to manufacturing?
That's news to me. River Rossi used to be belonged to Hornby.
Yeah.
He owned River Rossi, or however you pronounce it.
River Rossi. I guess it depends how you pronounce the A.
There's moving on to the next one. There's a good question here from. Just lost it now. Who was it that said it? Dave BNSF N scale. It's a good one for you, Shannon, and I've got opinions on it too. What DCC decoders are best in your opinion, Shannon?
Ooh. Well, that's all very dependent on what you are installing into it. Well, I've got plenty of opinions in regards to decoders, manufacturers, all dependent on size. Like, where is it? Actually, here it is. Now, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to hold this up. Nope, I'm going to lose it in there. Oh, I've already lost it in there.
Whilst Shannon's sorting himself out, we got 25 watching and only 13 likes. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, smash that thumbs up.
Okay.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and if you want to know anything, write stuff down in the comments below. You know, it's what's there.
Yeah, don't forget email us topics as well. Anyway, so back to Dave's question. Yeah, in regards to DCC, I say it all recommend on what you're doing, whether you're going standard, functions, or sound, or if you need a stationary decoder for like turnouts and whatnot. But I'm more experienced with the mobile decoders that you put in locomotives, not the stuff that you put in stationary for like turnouts and stuff. So what I'll do, I'll start off with the smallest decoder. If you want a really, really small decoder that fits into any nook and cranny without issue, and it still has somewhat of a half-decent amperage. To give you an idea, that is a Microtrains 1015 coupler next to a CT Electronics 77Z. As far as I'm aware, that is the smallest decoder available on the market. As you can see, it is about double the size of an MTL 1015. It's a 6-pin decoder. That decoder there I use for Atlas shays. Currently my supplier that I buy these from is currently out of stock because these are from Europe. But they're actually quite a nifty little decoder. They are very sensitive. You can blow them up quite easily. So you got to be careful with that. But yeah, in saying that, it is very good for N-scale locomotives. I think you can fit it into Z-scale if you're really tempted to.
Who's the one that does the small decoders for Kato and stuff? Zeno or something like that? Zemo, that's it.
No, this is smaller than Zemo stuff.
Oh, okay.
Zemo stuff is actually just, I'd say maybe 50% bigger than this. But like I said, that's the smallest decoder I know that's available on the market. They have like a 0.75 amp motor rating before it cuts off. And again, as I said, very sensitive. Like, if you put one wrong wire somewhere and the whole thing can just blow up instantly. You don't even get to see the smoke. It's that small. But yeah, moving into like other decoders, like if you're on a bit of a budget, for basic decoders, I let people know to use NCE, like the N12 SRs. They're pretty good for a hardwire decoder. TCS.
SF N-scale is talking diesel sound decoders.
Diesel sound decoders. In regards to diesel sound decoders, I'll always send everyone to go use ESU. ESU by far is, in my opinion, great because of the customization that you can do with the sound, as long as you have all the hardware. If you have a friend that has all the hardware, you can get them to do it all for you. Otherwise, in regards to just drop in and away you go. TCS do a good sound decoder as well that are preloaded with functions.
The wow sound is very good. I like it because it's simple. It quite literally talks you through all the steps, and because they're preloaded with sounds and stuff like that, you don't have to go in there and muck around with things. I mean, you are limited with what you can do with in comparison to the EFU, but if you're going for simplicity, TCS is the way to go.
Yeah, TCS. If you're on a budget, and I mean on a budget, I'd recommend you going to Digitrack sound decoders.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Yeah, like when I'm in budget, like I've got some Digitrack sound decoders in my Kato E8, E9 units, A and Bs, and they do the trick. They're not too bad, but put them against an ESU decoder or even TCS wow sound, it's like putting a child against a bodybuilder. You know, that's the only way I can compare the two. So that's my opinion on that sense. But yeah, otherwise for standard decoders, yeah, Zimo, NCE, Digitrax, TCS. Now I did see Sparky say something about.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a question I actually get asked a lot, really. Sparky's saying, can all N-scale decoders be used in HO scale locos? Okay. This is where you kind of need a little bit of a background in electronics to understand. I wouldn't say I'm an electronics guru, but I know enough to know what I need to do and how to do things the proper way and not the half-assed Joe way, as some of us call it. Sorry, Steve. I just saw your message pop up.
I've been trying to tell you that for 5 minutes, but you wouldn't shut up.
Okay, do you want to talk quickly or
No, that's what I was going to say. I was going to tell you what Sparky said, but you never talked to him, so that's fine.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, Steve.
That's okay.
That's why you're quick in there, Steve.
You got a compound bow behind your head.
Yeah. Maybe we should put on a trigger so it just shoots a bow past my ears and go, oh, I gotta shut up.
I'm just gonna get a whistle.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to Sparky's question. N-scale decoders in HO scale. One thing I always tell people to do is look at the amperage that those decoders are rated for, and double check how much amps are being drawn by the motor of the model you are modeling. There are a couple of different ways you can do it. I know there's some mathematical, some math. Everyone hates math, I know. Unless you're an accountant, then it's a different story. You probably love math. That's why you are an accountant. But you know, if I have to find the websites, I did use a couple of websites. You can find out how much load something is using when it's running. But I use an amp meter, which just checks the amperage draw at all times. So I'm always knowing how much amps are being drawn. But yeah, just double check the amperage of the decoder, what they're using. A lot of N-scale stuff is rated at about 1 amp, which is plenty for an N-scale loco because they're quite, they are obviously quite small. HO locos, you can use 1 amp decoders, but if it's an older model, like, the old school River Rossi Big Boys, River Rossi Challengers, that kind of thing, with the old school motors in it, they are quite hungry for amperage. So I'd recommend, using a 2 amp rated decoder, which TCS does do. In regards to sound decoders, you can get them in ranges from 1 amp, 2 amps, and then obviously the bigger the scale, the larger the amperage of output. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, just always double check the amperage. Any of the newer stuff, you can pretty much plug and play quite easily because the new motors are quite they're quite well designed to draw little amps and work quite well. But any of the older stuff, you just got to be careful because a lot of decoders now that have the software, I guess, installed, so when it does overload, it shuts down to prevent it from blowing up. But I have blown up ESU lockdown decoders with my old Concore units because there's nothing wrong with the motors. They work just fine. They work just as quietly as any other motor, but they're just very hungry for amperage, so they tend to overload the decoder quite quickly. So, that's what you got to look at. You just got to look at the decoder. A lot of decoders will say, it's got this processor, it's got this much memory, this is the maximum amp rating on continuous running, and that's what you just have to look out for. So hopefully that answers your question, Sparky.
There's some good questions in here on brands as well, like Soundtracks and MRC. Personally, I avoid MRC. But what do you think, Shannon?
My first experience with MRC. These are out of the first generation Athen Challengers and Big Boys. This decoder, which I've cut up and repurposed the plug, melted my Challenger shell. Melted it.
That's how hot they get.
Yep, it melted my Challenger shell. I tried to fix it, but now it doesn't. I couldn't fix it. So I'm currently waiting for Athen to charge my credit card to send me another shell, which the shell itself is about $15, but postage is about $30, $35. So I'm paying, what's that? I'm paying $50 for a shell, a tender shell. Otherwise, I do have MRC decoders in some Kato PAPB units.
Bad hair. Bad hair.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked. That's a good idea. Yeah, no, bad hair. See, if I want to talk, I say bad hair.
Yeah, as soon as you said bad hair, I started looking through the chat to go, I bet you that was Container Man.
Yep. Good suggestion, Roy. I'll use that one.
So that's my opinion with MRC. The very, all the MRC decoders I've come across have just been crap. The ones that I do have in my PAPB units, they're working okay for the moment. Like, I did get them at a dirt. Like, it was one of those things like, well, they're cheap enough that if they do give me issues, I'm not going to cry about it. So, that's why I got them in there. They haven't failed me yet.
Seems to agree with you, Shannon.
Sorry?
Everyone seems to agree with you there. There's a comment here from Jason. He says, MRC equals junk, in my opinion.
Yeah, put it this way. This is the only time I'll ever suggest to you to buy MRC sound. I think they retail at about $50, $60. If they're selling you a brand new unit for $20, that's when you buy it. Don't buy it at what they recommend retail. Buy it when they're selling it because they have to get rid of it.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's that cheap.
Yeah, because they're not flying off the shelves. So, but yeah, but even then, like with MRC, because like I've got 4 PAPB units to make a 4 loco consist. For me to actually consist them, I have to manually go into each individual loco and manually set the consist address. I cannot just do it using the controller going through advanced consist settings and just doing it automatically. You have to manually set the consist address.
Moving on to the next topic, Shannon, and here's one that Steve can actually join in on because I know he doesn't know a lot about DCC, but this one he should. Steam fan lover, what's your preferred locomotive, steam or diesel or electric? That one's very broad.
I can say that depends.
Well, Steve,
If
I'll let
it's,
you have a quick talk on this one because I talk too much.
well, what scale? I mean, if it's 1.5 inch, it would be steam for me.
Go
If
through
it's
all the
full,
scales, Steve. Go through all the scales. So you got 1.5 inch, O scale, HO, N.
Yes.
yeah.
So just
I've always been partial to steam. For me, I spent my career on diesel, so I got kind of burned out on that.
That's understandable.
But no, if for me, if my choice would be 1.5 inch scale live steam.
What about in your N scale collection there, Steve?
My steam doesn't run worth a crap, so I'm diesel in N scale. It's easier to work with. Shannon's got too much patience for steam. I don't. His steam runs good on mine, but I got it.
and it's broken too.
Yeah, and it's broken too. But no, But I think if I had good quality steam and good quality turnouts, I could do steam on mine. But right now, the reliability is not there. So I'm diesel. No electrics. I mean, they're all electrics, I guess, technically.
I think, he may be referring to prototype in that sense.
Yeah. I always did like the GG1s, though. There was something
interesting.
There was always something cool about the old GG1s.
What railroad you after in GG1s?
Oh, the Penn Central had them.
No, because I was going to say, I know someone who is holding an auction on Facebook that starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. And he lives about 3-4 hours away from you.
Where would that be? You don't know.
Hang on, I'll let you know in about 2 minutes.
Well, so you gonna bid on? Are you going to bid on it?
I was going to say, if you wanted to bid on it.
I'm not going to bid on it.
So you're not going to bid on a brand new Cato unit and pretty much get it at what could be almost dirt cheap?
Well, dirt cheap for me is still too much. I'm poor, Shannon.
Actually, in saying that, anyone who is an N scaler, I'll let the stream run for a little longer so I can show you guys. Because this guy's only just started auctioning things off in N scale quite recently on Facebook. So I'll show you guys who he is.
Are you talking about Jason?
No, not Jason.
Jordan? Not Jason, Jordan.
No, not Jordan.
Not Jordan.
Speaking of the chat and all that, it's 10 minutes to the end of the show already. I mean, we've been having fun. We're flying through this. So Nightbot's already telling people to vote for next week's topic. But I guess next week's topic is going to be whatever the topic was going to be tonight.
Yeah. So,
wiring your way out for DCC.
Yeah, just ignore Nightbot for the moment.
Whilst Shannon's doing that, I'll talk about my preference, and that is, I do like steam, don't get me wrong, but I have to go diesel just purely for the fact of maintenance and build, because as you guys know, I've got to build a lot of stuff here, and I'm having a nightmare of a time with this Garrett. There's just too many moving parts. Oh, it's lucky I haven't pulled my hair out yet. But
okay, he doesn't have anything up this week, so.
You said I like gasoline. Are you referring to the 1.5 inch scale? You said I like gasoline. So, are you talking about my ride-on guy?
I'm going to get a little bit sidetracked. Roy, the only reason I'm not coming to America is because I had to use all my annual leave on this damn pandemic. I was planning to go to America next year to catch up with Steve and go to Train Mountain for the triannual.
Well, you still got next year because they're not doing it this year. So it's even.
Yeah, but that's the problem, Steve. I've gone down from 18 weeks annual leave. I'm now down to 2.
Uh-oh.
I had 18 weeks of annual leave that I could use whenever I wanted because I like to save my annual leave for big trips, and now I've got none of it left. So my plans to come overseas is out the window.
You could still do a trip overseas in 2 weeks.
That sucks.
Yeah, nah. Like I like to give myself 3-day buffer each side to readjust to the time zone.
Oh, you never travelled. I've travelled across Australia God knows how many times.
Yeah, across Australia. I'm talking about halfway across the world.
I've travelled around the world too.
Yeah, you'd also travel from winter to summer too.
Yeah, but also the other thing about me is I don't like rushing things. I like to take my time on my holidays. I don't want to just get there and go, right, we're here, we've got 2 days to do this, 4 days to do that. I want to go there and be like, okay, what can we plan this week? Okay, what can we plan next week? I want to be nice and calm on my holidays. I don't want to be stressing and pulling my hair out, going, oh, I don't have my time.
You don't have any hair to pull out.
The look on his face says it all.
Moving on.
Gotcha.
Wilmer says he's with me. Loves watching Steam, but would rather run diesel because there's less headaches.
I would agree.
And the colours are great too. Love watching things with different liveries in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm completely on the other side of the fence of you guys. Because, like, literally everyone is like, oh, Steam's so annoying to maintain, this and that. And I just look and go, what do you mean? It's great.
I should send you my W class. That thing's a nightmare.
Well, I agree, Jason. F, E, and Alco P's are all good. All the
Yeah.
Bouldin.
Yeah, no, my opinion in regards to steam, electric, and diesel is love my steam. Like, thanks to Claude, curse him for this. For the last week and a half now, I've been searching for a HON3 K36, K37. And I want it cheap. I don't want to spend $1,000, $2,000. I want to spend a couple $100. But that's another story. But yeah, I don't know what you guys are going on about, like, having trouble maintaining steam. Like, I've enjoyed it. I've always...
I don't like Walshart's valve gear. It's too complicated.
No, it's not. The more complicated gearing is the one... what's the one that the British use, where it's the corkscrew into the valve body, not the Walshart's lever action stuff?
I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, that stuff's a bit tricky. But now, like... Oh, I guess, again, I think... How many Malakas have I pulled apart? See, usually when I do DCC installs for sound, I strip down an entire chassis of steam locomotive so I can rewire the rewire the headlight and any marker lights I need to rewire, or gyro lights. So, and in my collection, I think in my collection I have about 30 steamers, 20 diesels. And I'm still buying steam. Like Steve can confirm this. I did just recently buy myself a Key Imports brass Challenger that needs repair for cheap.
beautiful locomotive.
Yeah, and Steve's just looking at, has said it. I think Steve said it to me. Basically, it was like, I don't know how you're going to fix this. I'm like, oh, I'll fix it. I'll fix it.
No, I haven't sent that one yet. I'm still sitting on that one.
I know, Steve, because you have a man crush on it, as you said.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Is there any other questions that we've missed out on? that anyone wants us to discuss? Yeah, Chuck, if I ever do end up, if I can figure out a way to get to America and spend some time over there, we'll definitely hit you up. Jason says I have two steamers, Buckman Spectrum. They both need parts, and Buckman doesn't carry them. Jason, send me an email on the Back on Tracker email, and I'll have a chat to you personally because I've done a fair bit with the Buckman stuff, and us Aussies. See, that's the good thing about us Australians, because we're kind of on our own, and everything we want to buy for models is outside of Australia, and it's next to impossible for us to get parts unless we want to spend the money, which any modeler will say they don't want to spend the money for no reason. But yeah, send me a message and let's see if I can give you a hand trying to do something about it and fix it. Like I've got Buckman steamers that I've partially kit bashed. You know, like they were missing parts and whatnot, and you know, I went down to the hobby store, bought some brass wire, made my own handrails, tried to make my own bells and stuff, you know, just using everyday things. So yeah, send me a message and let's see if I can give you any ideas on how to fix yours. Indian head. Ooh, send me a message. I want to know what's in that box of locos. I would be very interested in that, Wilma. Very interested in that. Jason, I love. Actually, Jason, not only do I have one, two shays, I have got three shays. Two of them are DCC. One I still need to put a decoder in. Once my supplier gets decoders.
I can't spell it, Roy, but Train Mountain's in Chiloquin, Oregon. It's not in Washington. So you're trying to spell Chiloquin.
Okay, look, if everyone wants to send... Okay, this is what I've been doing at the moment. This is how I save money. I send all my stuff to Steve. And then once Steve has a big enough box that doesn't equal the value over 650 US, he will then post it to me. The last parcel you sent me, Steve, was what?
$91.20.
Yeah, but that had like, what? 5 pound of white metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the parcel after that was what? Probably a similar size?
Oh, no, it was smaller.
Okay, slightly smaller. How big would you say the parcel was?
$27.
No, not price. Like, how big was the box? Like,
oh, it was it held two steam locomotives and your decoders, so it wasn't very big.
So you'd say what, like 12 by 4 by 7?
Probably maybe 14 by 5 by 2.5.
There you go.
Something like that.
Yeah, so a parcel about that big is it costs about 30, 40 bucks to send to me. So if everyone if anyone wants anything done with Steam and they can't find anyone over your end of the world to have a look at it, send us an email on the Back and Track email. I will talk to you personally through Whereby to see if I can help you first fix it, like help you guide you to fix it yourself before going through the process of sending it to me, and I will be more than happy to have a look at it. Not because of the aspect of trying to make a buck, and Steve can account for this, and even Ali.
Mm-hmm.
I just love to fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
I just love to fiddle and whoa.
You're a beast, Shannon.
Yeah.
They say if you play with it too much, it might fall off.
You're also a hell of a friend, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I always feel like if people are going to look after me, I want to look after them. You know? And
Well, that's what's great
Train
about this
Freak.
whole model
Okay,
railroading
Jason.
community.
For anyone who is not aware, I service and repair BMWs. Anyone in the automotive industry that has worked on a European car will understand how much of a mind F it is to work on European cars, especially when to give you an idea, how many cars can anyone think of where it takes 2 to 3 hours to change 12 spark plugs and cost nearly $1,200 just for a spark plug change? If anyone can come to me and say, yes, I can understand, will then understand how... What's the word I'm after, Ali?
Not sure what you're referring to because
Not
the finger's
interested.
not helping. Just to put it this way, Jason, he works on my S-scale stuff, so...
Actually, I've got a River Rossi big boy up there that I'm fixing. I'm literally missing one bolt for the crank pin. Do you think I can find it? No. Like, literally, I'm going to... Like, when I was going to train shows, I was literally looking at the second-hand stall, just looking for junk logos, going, yeah, no, that doesn't look right, that doesn't look right. Oh, maybe I'll buy that one. Maybe that's got the bolt I need. Nope. Maybe. Nope, too much. Da-da-da-da. So...
Anyway, we're over time, aren't we, Shannon?
Yeah.
I only buy a couple of minutes. I'm actually enjoying this. Actually, to give you an idea, that River Rossi big boy, just going back to it, when I got it, it was in pieces. As in, like, the boiler was off, the wheels are apart, the tender was disconnected, wiring was just in a bunch like this, which I dug through it, and I go, okay, I don't need that wiring because that's for a camera. Because there was a camera in there. It looks like someone was trying to put a camera through the front or something, so that way you had a point of view of the loco, but I don't know how that was going to work. But yeah, I've managed to put it together to a point where I'm just short a couple of pieces so I can just run. Thank you, Marty. That is exactly what I was mechanically inclined.
Ah. Geez, I couldn't figure that out.
Ali, I'm sure you are very well aware of how much my English sucks.
It's getting better with my tutorship.
Yes. John, you own
Misspelling
one BMW. I feel so sorry for you.
That's why I drive a Mercedes.
Actually, another sidetrack note. Whoever has ever worked on a BMW, the N62, N63 V8 motors, the 4.4s, whoever had to change what I call the Mickey Mouse oil gasket, they'll understand what I mean. John, what year M3? Now you got my senses tingling.
Back on track, Shannon. This is model railroads, not BMWs, dude.
Hey, I've got two hobbies I'm passionate about, and I had to drop one for the other. Okay? I'm just thankful that my other hobby I have as a job.
There you go. Uh-oh, I hear voices.
Wasn't there something about tomorrow that you were going to update everyone on as well?
Yes, there is. I completely forgot. Damn it. Okay. And whoever's still on chat right now, tomorrow is the premiere episode of Sidetrack Sundays. Okay, you've got John from Schuylkill Valley, you've got Jason from The Train Freak, you've got Heath from Humanity Junction, and you got Ray Bobo. The four of them are going to do Around the Rosie, or actually, what would you call it when you jump from one person to the next?
Ring around the rosy.
Rotating.
Yeah,
rotating.
They're doing a rotating roster. Where each Sunday they're going to do Sidetrack Sundays, similar to On Track Tuesdays, if it's not exactly the same. So make sure you check it out. I think from memory it is. I think it's 8 p.m. Just Google. No, not Google. Just go onto YouTube, look up Sidetrack Sundays. They do have like a trailer video. And yeah, I am 90% confident it's 8 p.m. Eastern.
And it's a round robin, according to Sparky.
Yeah, that's the other way of saying it. Are you finished? We're kind of running over time.
And fifth Sunday will be a special guest, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Just to answer you, Container Man, one of my pet hates is people who don't use good English. Just to get a bit sidetracked there. For example, not pointing any fingers, people who say something instead of something, there's a G in there, or nothing, it's nothing, not nothing.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You're not bad for that, Shannon. That's why I wasn't pointing any fingers at you.
Oh, I thought I was good at that.
No, it's the spelling that you're shocking with.
Spelling, actually, construction of sentences too.
Oh, yeah, that too. Especially when it comes to first person or third person.
Or just speaking to yourself as the first person and then third person in the same sentence.
Everyone in chat should know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Apart from that, yeah. Okay, so back to what we were talking before. Thank you, John. Yes, 8 p.m. Eastern. So there we go. So yeah. So now that we are running overtime, email us topics, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
Bell, ding.
Yep. Anyone who does have any steam locomotives that they need some one-on-one help with from me, I'm more than happy to give you a hand. Again, just email us. I will try and organise a time with you guys, and we can go through all the little things that I do, because everything I do, being an apprentice mechanic and spare parts specialist, is when I do something, I have to set myself procedures. If I don't set a procedure for myself, things do go wrong. And, working on European cars, whether it's the actual engine itself, the electronics, brakes, whatever.
You're getting sidetracked, Shannon.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so...
Oh, Sparky, come on.
Sparky, actually, Ali, you know what you need to do? Or actually, Ali, once the show's finished, I've got a good idea for next week.
Oh dear.
So,
that's scary.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
Well, there's something to pique your interest. Wait and see, guys.
Yeah.
What Shannon's got prepared for me next week.
Yeah.
And make
apart
sure
from
you're
that,
on next week.
apart from that, here's my baby boy
Yeah.
who doesn't understand what the meaning of sleep is.
Oh, really, Sparky? That's not very nice. Yes, Container Man. You're just as bad, though. You flirt with me, too.
Oh boy.
Can you imagine what would happen if Ron was actually Sparky Container Man? Can you imagine if Ron was here?
God, those two are already fighting over me.
Oh, Ben. Actually, whilst we're still going, Bernard says just come up with another question. What's the best remoted choice, Shannon, for big boys challenges? Ooh.
I'll be back.
Bernard, get coreless motors. You know, any of those can motors from Japan. They're quite good. Like Kato use
They're very
coreless
good motors.
Actually, to give you an idea, Key Imports, when they first designed the brass Challengers and brass AC-12s, they were some of the first N-scale models to actually use coreless motors. And those things, you know, they were made in the late 70s, early 80s, and those things to this day still run quite smooth. So that should give you a good idea for that. I'm not sure on brands, but yeah, just look up. Just basically look up coreless motors or can motors. Basically anything that like Kato use, Atlas, you know, use the information they have on their websites for what kind of motors they use. Because they're quite good. Like, to give you an idea, if you're not aware what a coreless...
Haircut.
Sorry?
Haircut. I'm trying it.
Okay.
We got to get going.
Okay, we're going to get going. Thanks again, guys. It was really great. I know Steve's
already left.
Steve's left the
bailed.
building. Thanks again, guys, for coming along. If anyone does have any questions they want to ask me, or if they need a one-on-one chat in regards to steamers, you know, hit me up. Again, just message us through the Back on Track email. Otherwise, send us an email with topics, so we always have topics to talk about. Like right there, Nightboss just said it. And we'll see you all again
next week.
Oh, and again, with our trackside beans, we are trying to focus it so it's more... I can... See, this is where my English sucks. We're trying to...
Semi-regular?
Yeah, semi-regular on a Wednesday, Thursday. We are trying to pick a day because we're trying to work around everyone's work. But yeah, so I'll shut up now. Thanks again, guys. See you later.
Even Sparky's saying it.
Yeah, Steve, if you have anything to say.
No, I do now. I had to pee. You wouldn't stop talking. But I had to use the sandbox. So now I'm good. You know how hard it is to sit here and listen to you just talk and talk and talk and have to pee? There you go. Put that around. There you go.
That's it. We gag him. That's the only way to fix it. We'll gag him.
I love it. No, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.
Same time. Bye-bye.